This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Catholic priests defy German Archbishop and bless same-sex couples. Several Catholic priests held a ceremony blessing same-sex couples outside Cologne Cathedral on Wednesday night in a protest against the city's conservative Archbishop, Cardinal Rainer Maria Woelki. Their protest was triggered by Cologne church officials' criticism of a priest from Medellin who in March had held a blessing ceremony for lovers, including same-sex couples. Officials from the Cologne Archdiocese from Medellin had reprimanded the priests afterward and stressed that the Vatican doesn't allow blessings of same-sex couples. The blessing of same-sex couples was the latest sign of rebellion of progressive believers in Germany's most populous diocese, with about 1.8 million members. Catholic believers in Cologne Archdiocese have long protested their deeply divisive archbishop and have been leaving in droves over allegations that he may have covered up clergy sexual abuse reports. The crisis of confidence began in 2020 when Woelki, citing legal concerns, kept under wraps a report commissioned on how local church officials reacted when priests were accused of sexual abuse. This infuriated many Cologne Catholics. A second report published in March 2021 found 75 cases in which high-ranking officials neglected their duties. I think I may have said this at some point in the past, and the sky is blue.
Yeah.
There are things that have happened within a number of churches, Catholic Church being probably the most visible, where officials in the church have done terrible things. And the bigger officials, the bosses, have tried to cover it up. And there's somewhere in one of those texts that we read, that which is done in the dark comes to light. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens more times than not. Wow, let me calm down. Let me pass it to y'all for right now because I have to recenter.
Okay.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. No, when the thing was coming up, the photos while he was talking,
Right.
the thing, there was this one of these two women getting their blessing. Did you see the one who was just, ugly cry, just breaking down?
Uh-huh.
Because, I mean, that's the joy. That's this moment is here. Look, right there. Look at her.
Yeah, that's
like
beautiful. I love that picture.
That
I saw
moment,
the same thing.
That one woman and that one moment tells the whole story about why this just needs to be a done deal.
Yeah.
These women are clearly in love. God knows how long they've been together, 4 years or 40 years. But they're getting to live into their full humanity. She is a whole person in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And look just how overwhelming that is. And so I don't care what you say. I don't care what you quote. I don't care what what council said this or what text said that. That woman's untold story that she is telling, and the ink that she's writing with are those tears. That just tells the whole story to me. And also this idea, we don't bless. You know what? Blessing is, the word for blessing is very similar to the word for happiness.
Yeah.
And so when you say blessed are those, it means happy are those. And so when you're blessing someone, you're just wishing them happiness. You're just wanting, you're hoping, you're wishing, you're praying that they will be happy and well. Queers don't get that? Really? We don't bless marriages. Okay, but these people are living together. They're already doing it. You don't want them to be happy? You don't want them to be okay? And so this idea that we decide who you can bless. Meanwhile, this is a church that has every October 4th has a blessing of your pets. I can bless your collie, but not your life partner.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they bless buildings, they bless cemeteries, they consecrate ground. Their cousins, the Anglicans, have a special blessing for the hounds of the hunt. I mean, we will bless a dog to kill a fox, but not bless the person you've been living with for 10 years already, lovingly, happily, supporting each other. Putting you on insurance. That's what loving people do for each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, but I don't want you to be happy in that. I'm not going to give you a blessing. That just is insane to me. Now I realize that the Catholic Church is a very old, very institutional, very structured. It moves like a glacier if it's going to make any progress at all. I mean, I get all of that. And it makes me crazy that, wish people happiness. That you saw that woman, how could you just not want her to live the rest of her life
Right.
just happy as a pig in shit? I mean, just how could you not want that for her?
Right, right. This Archdiocese these people want to bless same-sex couples along with other groups. And at the same time, there's the other folks saying, you can't do that. You can't do that. There's a real disconnect somewhere. And I'm in what we're hearing, what this priest or religious person has done, burying sexual abuse claims and that kind of thing, kind of shows me the person that he really is. He's not going to wish happiness.
No.
Other people will.
Right.
This person will.
Yeah,
not.
he's actually blocked happiness.
Exactly. He really has.
That if you'll cover up abuse,
right,
and violence and that, but you can't bless happiness and love. Love your freaking neighbor. Guess what? Sometimes your neighbor's two women that love each other.
Yeah. Right.
Love your freaking neighbor.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm so at odds with what happens with so many different groups. They forget fundamental decency.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just lose my words when I'm watching people be ugly just for the sake of being ugly.
Right.
I've worked with people who swear that they are the most religious people on the planet, and then they go out and they do harm to everyone that they come in contact with. And they say, I'm doing it because I love you and Jesus would have it this way. They're almost always Christians, so that's why I'm saying it that way. So when
It's funny, Buddha never wants you to be hateful. Isn't that funny? Buddha never wants you to be hateful.
So
Krishna never wants you to be an asshole.
When I read stories like this, when I share stories like this, I am often just dumbfounded at how much hate there still is out there within communities that are supposed to be professing pure, unadulterated love. Right. It hurts.
Well, I've said it before, and it bears repeating. The problem with Christianity, I was born into a Christian home, born in a Christian culture, went to Christian seminary, ordained in a Christian denomination. I pastor a church. My hands aren't clean. I'm all up in it. But the problem with Christianity is its focus on sin.
Yeah.
That first of all, everybody's sinful. And then, the reason we're religious is to save you from your sinfulness. And so there's no joy in that.
No.
And you're not going to judge yourself to be a piece of crap and then have a better opinion about anybody else. So of course, in fact, you're going to try to judge people more harshly so you'll feel good in comparison.
Right.
So Christianity is taken, now, P.S., I'm super critical of Christianity. Love me some Jesus, who was Jewish. Love me some teachings of Jesus. He was talking to Jewish people. That if we will go back to the Judaism that was the world and spirituality of Jesus, we won't have a lot of this Christian baggage.
Yeah.
This happens when the Messianic movement sort of merges under Constantine with Roman paganism, and we just get a whole new animal. And, fair enough. But I think our problems are from this idea. We have these sins, and then we have this man God who is sacrificed to keep us from our sins, but it only works if you believe it. And then it's our job to make everyone else believe it. And there's no joy in that.
Right.
There's no peace in that. There's no harmony in that. And it has almost zero to do with anything Jesus ever said or did.
Right.
And so I want us to get away from Christianity and back to Jesus.
Right.
I think we'll be a lot better off. But no, this focus on sin, this focus on damage, this focus on what's wrong and what's bad, and how only really extreme and terrible things can rescue you from that.
Ouch.
If anybody has to be tortured to death to save me from my own grossness, I'm just not interested in that story.
Right.
And I'm certainly going to sell that story.
I'm not sharing
But
it.
that is the majority. And there's a lot of progressive Christians that are with us. They're like, oh yeah, we're changing that. But for a long, long time, and still for the entire Roman Catholicism and evangelical and fundamentalist Protestants, that's still the story. Sin, 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 sin. And they're mean about it, and they're miserable about it, and they can't stand that anyone has chosen a different way that has led to something better for them.
Right. I remember one time somebody shared with me that they had never met anyone who is meaner than Christians. They've never met anybody who was meaner than Christians, which is why they now identify not as Christian, but as a follower of Jesus.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, they let go of that Christian title, and now I just identify as a follower of Jesus.
There is nothing.
That's it.
There's no hate like Christian love.
And
that is a thing. That a meme, a bumper sticker, like that. Like this has become commodified. It's been commercialized.
Yeah.
There's no hate like Christian love, and that's heartbreaking.
Yep. Yep.
That's heartbreaking. So, yeah. You know what? We'll pray for you. We'll pray for your marriage because we want you to be happy.
We sure will.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, Sunshine Cathedral.
We'll pray for your divorce because that's painful and devastating. We want you to heal from that.
Exactly.
What you're going through, we'll pray with you.
Yes.
Just how about that?
Yes. Next up, we are excited to tell you about our next adventure with our Global Fellowship. In 2024, we'll be going where the hills are alive as we explore Austria and Alpine Europe for Gay Oktoberfest. Space is extremely limited, so make sure to go to happeningout.travel/sunshine to reserve your space now.
Would you like to join the Queer God Squad on a special winter cruise in 2024? Well, now you can. You will visit Cozumel, Mexico, Grand Cayman, and Ocho Rios. And you can even add an open bar and Wi-Fi. Join us by going to happeningout.travel/sunshine.